New developments right now in the beating of Steve Utash. 4 of the 5 suspects were in court today as the judge heard evidence against them all.
As they were seated, one of the suspects flipped off the cameras, focused in on him twice. We have complete team coverage on the case now. We begin with 7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig. She was in court today.
Is that your signature?
Yes.
Okay. You did sign.
And that statement right there was nowhere on there.
Sir.
He's the one witness who had to be locked up to make sure he'd be here to testify against the men accused of beating Steve Utash. We were ordered not to show any witnesses on the stand, but this man, who apparently knows the suspects, tried locking horns with prosecutor Lisa Lindsay when he claimed he never implicated Wanzi Saffold or James Davis.
So you just said you just signed a sheet of paper, a blank sheet of paper.
They showed 6 little pictures. They asked me, do I know anybody in this picture?
Sir.
He was in the middle. I said, yes, I know him from the neighborhood.
Listen
I
to the
signed around that as I know him from the neighborhood. It wasn't about the case at the time. They was talking about a whole bunch of different cases.
Listen to my question.
And did I know anybody? I told him, no, I didn't know none of them, but I knew
order him to shut up and listen to the question.
For the record, man, I got ADHD too.
I don't need for the record from you. I just need for you to follow my orders and answer the question.
Whether this man puts Davis at the scene or not, Detroit police say Davis himself admitted to being one of many who beat Utash after Utash accidentally hit a little boy with his truck, then got out to see if he was okay and call police.
There was a crowd beating on the white male because he had hit the kid. I went up and the white male was on the ground and I kicked him 2 or 3 times.
Also taking the stand today was Deborah Hughes, the nurse who rushed to help the little boy, and Utash when he was getting beaten by the mob. And we heard from another woman who tried to get people to calm down, and she says she also saw Saffold with a gun.
This man that you talk about here, Mr. Saffold?
Mr. Saffold.
He reached into his waistband and pulled out a gun?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he do with this gun?
He waved it in the air.
And
then he waved it at the driver.
These defendants, no matter what they did, no matter how heinous it is, it didn't arise to a level where they were trying to kill that gentleman.
That was Kimberly Craig reporting.
All right, our live Team 7 coverage continues on this story with Jim Kirchner. He spoke with some of Steve Utash's family members this afternoon and has more on that part. Jim?
Yeah, Jeff and Joanne, very tough day for this family. When they're not here in the courtroom today, they're in the hospital room with Steve Utash pretty much 24/7. Check it out. When they first left court here this afternoon, they did not talk with us. They had to take a breather. This included Steve's ex, the mother of his kids, and his brother-in-law, Max. Steve is still at St. John Hospital in no condition to be here in court himself.
Well, it's hard to hear that they're trying to say that, oh, they only kicked him once or twice. Does it really matter how many times you can kick them? I don't understand it, that they shouldn't be charged with what they're charged with. Or they want lower bonds, or it's crazy. Hurt that there's people out there that would do that to somebody, that all he was doing was stopping to make sure this little boy was all right. And then you want to almost, if he'd be dead right now, we wouldn't be talking in a courtroom if that lady wouldn't have stopped.
Now, Steve has never left the hospital since this attack on April the 2nd. In fact, he took a turn for the worse this weekend. What Steve can and most importantly cannot do. That part of the story coming up next hour at 6. Jeff, Joanne.
All right, Jim, thank you. And the outpouring of monetary support continues for the Utash family. Over the last 17 days since this all happened, more than 4,400 people have donated nearly $181,000. If you would like to donate, there is a link on our website, WXYZ.com.